Hi there, my name is Melanie and welcome back to It's Time. Today is Saturday morning. It's just shy of 8 a.m. and I just finished, as you can tell, my last workout for the week, as well as a fitness test. For those of you that are just coming along, I am participating in a 28-day fitness challenge, or health challenge, I guess, if you want to call it, called Fit Feels Good. And the idea is that we concentrate on better eating habits and introducing exercise into our routines. So as I said, I just finished my workout, sweaty mess. I have to do this in the morning. It's too hot here in the evenings. So that's why I'm here now. I'm also outside for a change of pace, and that's just because the lighting's a little better than in my apartment. So as far as this past week went, it was kind of difficult because I was working nights. So I was working from about 1 a.m. till about 10, 11 a.m. in the morning. It's just part of my job. Sometimes, you have to work odd hours when you're working with international people, and normally we would be traveling, but with the situation that it is in the world, obviously travel's not something that we're actively pursuing at this time. I had prepared for it, so I had gradually changed my sleeping schedule so that by the time Monday morning came around, I was pretty well adjusted, so that worked out okay. The hardest was falling asleep at like 5, 6 a.m. It was pretty hot in the apartment. Even though I have air conditioning, it's not really great. But I managed to make it work with the help of a little melatonin, just to kind of, push me through that. And overall, I feel really good. The meal plans and diet went very strangely, and I don't know if it's because of the different schedule and my body just wasn't used to it. So normally when I wake up, I'm really hungry, and so I usually have breakfast like pretty much right away. But I was waking up at 12:30, 1 a.m. and I wasn't hungry at all. So I would have the water. They call it Mojo water, I think. It basically has lemon juice in it and either cayenne pepper or ginger. So I would have that in the morning, and then I wasn't really hungry, and we would break at probably about 5:30-ish for their lunch, which is actually a late lunch for them, and that's when I would have my breakfast, which is kind of normally when I would have my breakfast when I was getting up at that time. So it's very strange. And so then, we would work till about 10 or 11. So then I would have my lunch at 11, 12 o'clock. So still in pattern. But because I was going to bed at 5, I didn't really have dinner. And I would have a snack, and that was enough to tide me over. So it was very strange. Not intentional by any stretch of the imagination. I think it just had to do with, what my body was used to, when my body was used to eating, I'm guessing. We'll see what happens this week as I return back to my normal schedule. If it's easier to get the 3 meals in. I don't know, we'll see. I'm feeling pretty good. My back doesn't hurt very much anymore. So when I wake up in the morning, I'm not really stiff like I used to be. So that's really encouraging. I feel stronger and more energetic when I walk. Now, don't get me wrong. My stamina's still not there, and I sweat like crazy. I can't even get through these exercises without taking a break. But I'm seeing the overall improvement. So we did do the fitness test, and I'll just explain what that test is and what it involves. So we had to do push-ups, whatever version you were at. So I was doing the modified version, or commonly known as the female push-up version, where you're on your knees and, semi-inclined. So when I first started 2 weeks ago, I was able to do 10, and this week I was able to do 17. So I'm really pleased with that. We had to do a wall sit endurance, and this is where you basically pretend you're sitting on a chair but against a wall. So your legs are at 90 degrees, and 2 weeks ago I could manage a minute, and this week I did a minute 22. So again, improvement. I'm happy with that. And then my all-time favorite, the plank. I have no core. I have no core muscles. My core muscles and my leg muscles are by far the weakest, and I think that's just from sitting. They definitely did not get as much use this year. So the plank is the next one we did. So 2 weeks ago, I could last 32 seconds, and this week I lasted 42, just shy of 43. We also had a flexibility test, and it was basically if you sit on the floor with your legs extended directly in front of you, how far can you reach? So 2 weeks ago, I could basically touch just behind my big toe. And this week I'm able to have my fingers extend beyond to the bottom of my foot pad. So I didn't expect that my flexibility would change that much. So that was really, really pleasant to see. And then the last thing we're supposed to check is shoulder flexibility. And that's where you extend your arms back and see what the distance is. I need someone to measure that, so I will report back on that number once I get someone to do the measurements for me. As far as weight goes, I'm going to hold off on telling you the weight loss, because what normally happens when I do these types of things, the first week I lose a lot of weight. Most of it's water weight, to be honest. It's because we've cut out a lot of the starchy carbohydrates, so your body's releasing the water. At least that's how it's been explained to me. And so it's great. I'm glad the weight's gone, don't get me wrong, but I don't want to set that as an expectation for what will continue. Typically after that first week, it usually drops down to 1 or 2 pounds a week. If I'm having a really good week, maybe 3. And I think that's a healthy range to be in anyways. Any weight loss is gonna be good. What else? What else can I tell you? I think overall my mental state has also improved. This past week was very stressful. I was able to get through it without having any cravings for sugary items. Usually when I get stressed, I like all things chocolate, baking, etc. And I didn't have any of that. I've also 2 weeks down with no soda. So I've just been drinking water. Surprisingly, we're allowed, herbal tea, so anything that's decaffeinated, like without caffeine. And I haven't really drank much of that. And I'm a big tea drinker, so that was interesting too. But that could be because I was just super busy this week. Maybe this week, once I'm back into my normal office routine, where I have a little bit more downtime, that might change, and I might feel like having more herbal tea. I was never a big coffee drinker. In fact, I never drink coffee, so that wasn't an issue giving that up. You can have coffee, but I think they limit it to 1 cup a day and 5 cups a week or something like that. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention because it's not a concern for me. Okay, so that is my week. I am really pleased with how things are going. Don't get me wrong. I hate the exercise. It's never going to be something that I thoroughly enjoy, but I love the benefits that I'm feeling, so that's going to be a motivator for me. I hope this encourages you to try and tackle something that perhaps you find difficult, and if you need any words of encouragement, leave a comment below. You can always reach out to me directly at itstimemelanie@gmail.com if you want to have a more private message. That is always welcome. And now it's time to get this Saturday going, which means grocery shopping after a shower. We'll see you Tuesday.